So thank you everyone for joining. So I'm James, Head of Marketing here at Charities Digital. I'll be your host throughout the webinar and would like to give you all a very warm welcome to today's session. Please do, as we've said, introduce yourself in the chat and let us know where you are joining us from. I'll firstly do a quick intro to Charities Digital. So we are a registered UK charity, and our mission is to help other charities increase their impact by being more digital. Today's session is called Big Impact, Smaller Budgets, Modern Fundraising and Engagement for Charities, and will be delivered by Mazic Global. Joining us today, we have Stephen Hargreaves, Business Development Director at Mazic Global, Henrik Anderson, EMEA Partner Sales and Lead at Microsoft, and then Umar Siddiqui, VP Enterprise Services for NFP Mazic Global. In this session, we'll learn how to unify donor and fundraising data, how to automate key processes such as HMRC Gift Aid submission, and where you can find real-time insight into fundraising performance without the cost or complexity of traditional enterprise CRM platforms. Just before we start, I just want to share a few house rules and pointers for today's session. So this session is being recorded and will be uploaded to watch on demand within a week's time. Any slides that are shared together with any resources will also be made available to you, so don't worry if you've missed anything. Closed captions are available for today's session. So to enable these, on the bottom row of the Zoom menu bar, click the up arrow next to closed caption and then click show subtitles. During the webinar, please ask lots of questions in the Q&A section, which is also located on the Zoom menu bar for Mazic to address at the end of the presentation. If someone asks a question that resonates with you, you can upvote it and just click on the thumbs up icon and this will upvote it automatically. Finally, if you encounter any sound or image issues, please let us know in the chat and we'll do our very best to get the session back to normal as soon as we can. Now, let me hand over to Stephen.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, James. Appreciate that. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, all good, all good.
Excellent.
Nice and clear.
Okay. Yes, first and foremost, my name is Stephen Hargreaves. I'm the Business Development Manager here at Mazic Global. So I just wanted to, welcome everybody to the Mazic Global Fundraising and Engagement webinar. This really is for about charities who want to create a big impact, have smaller budgets, but do require a modern fundraising and engagement solution. So I think we've done the introductions, but quickly I will introduce Mazic Global, then hand over to Henrik Anderson at Microsoft, and then from there to Umar. Sorry, could we just click back a second, go to the agenda? Thank you. So in terms of the agenda today, the purpose was just to do some introductions, which we've just done. I think it's important that whoever you're working with, you understand the company and their credentials and their capabilities. Then we'll have Henrik, who will talk about Microsoft Elevate. So some of you may be familiar with what was called as Microsoft Tech for Social Impact. It's been renamed as Elevate. So Henrik will talk about that and what they're doing in the non-profit space. And then Umar will go into the NFP, Mazic NFP Fundraising and Engagement Accelerator. And then we've got some questions and answers. And for those of you who are interested and want to take the next step and get started with a conversation with ourselves, then we have a QR code at the very end. So I think before we move on to the next slide, can we, I think we've got a first polling question. If we want to poll that, do you want to poll the first question? So that question should be, if you've seen it, so how would, so the polling question is, how would you describe your charity's current approach to managing fundraising and fundraising and supporter engagement? So do you mostly use spreadsheets and manual processes, basic CRM? You have multiple systems that don't integrate. You actually have a well-integrated solution, or you're currently reviewing your solutions at the moment. Sorry, I think we have some people saying, "Oh, can't see it." So yes, so people are mentioning they're using Excel at the moment. So that's something that we will be addressing today. So moving on from that, next slide, please, Alona. So in terms of Mazic Global, Just wanted to just cover this off for you, spend a few minutes on this. So, for those of you who haven't heard of Mazic Global before, we are a long-standing Microsoft partner. We are a global Microsoft partner and have been since 2003. So, as the slide shows there, we have roughly about 1,000 people in our organization. We have, as you can see, a strong presence in the US, in North America. We also have presence in the UK and across the UAE, and we have offshore capabilities in Pakistan and India. However, the relationship with Microsoft goes back over 30 years now. So the original founders of Mazic Global were developers who actually worked for Microsoft. They set up Mazic Global in Chicago and provided those engineering capabilities back into Microsoft. So one of the things that is really quite unique to us is we have a serious engineering capability. And as a consequence of that, we still have about 250 developers who are actively developing solutions for Microsoft today. As you can see there, it says we have a Microsoft Cloud. So we only work with Microsoft. We believe Microsoft offer the best end-to-end solutions, everything from the infrastructure, the data platform, all the way through to AI, obviously Copilot, through to Dynamics and the business applications, and obviously the productivity solutions like Microsoft 365. With that commitment into Microsoft, we also have developed since 2022 three AI centers of excellence. We have over 100 people currently working on AI development for Microsoft and also for ourselves, based in US, Pakistan, and India. And in terms of the UK, we've been involved in the UK since 2019, mainly focusing on the healthcare market and also the not-for-profit sector. Next slide. Next slide, please. That's it. So in terms of recognitions and accreditations, I mentioned about it's important to understand organizations' capabilities. So here, as you can see, we have all the level of accreditations and experience that you would expect from a company of ourselves that have been serving the Microsoft community for over 20, 25 years. We are a trusted Microsoft solutions partner. So we are certified across all these various service lines here, demonstrating deep expertise in delivering transformative solutions. And across off the top, you'll see that we have won numerous awards. We are the healthcare and life science winner for 3 years in a row since 2020. We are World Analytics Partner of the Year in 2024, and most recently in 2025, we were finalists in government. So look, at the end of the day, we are an IT services business. But we are a professional services business. We are a people-based business, and we have a great engineering team. We have got a number of Microsoft most valued professionals, so they do a lot in the community. And in the UK, we have our CTO, Faz Mohammed. He's a Dynamics 365 fast-track architect. That means he is only one of 3 in the UK and one of 50 globally. So we have a real strong capability is the key message here. Next slide, please. So again, without spending too much time on this, I've mentioned that we cover the entire Microsoft portfolio and have done for over 20 years. However, if you were to say to me, Stephen, what are you most famous for? I would have to say that we are most famous for Microsoft Dynamics business applications. That's where we started. That's where we started our development work into Microsoft. So anything CRM, sales, case management, finance and operations, everything we're talking to do, that is our bread and butter. And then over the course of the last number of years now, we've moved more into the data platform and AI since 2022. So, having that ability to integrate your operational and your business applications into the Microsoft data platform, which is called Fabric, and then using AI to provide supporter and donor insights. Next slide. And then finally, just to kind of give you a bit of context, I mentioned we do work across healthcare, commercial, and non-for-profit organisations. On the charity side, we support the likes of Action Aid and Islamic Relief. But when you look across all these organisations, the challenges are actually very similar. Fragmented systems, disconnected data, and the need to improve engagement and efficiency. So whether you're a supporter or a donor, in the case of non-for-profits, or you're a patient in the healthcare industry, poor data, poor systems integration leads to disjointed systems and journeys. So, and in a world where, let's be honest, everybody is competing for everybody's attention, we need to fix these things if we are to achieve our missions and reach as many people as possible. And hopefully from today, that's really what today's session is all about. So at this point, I'm going to hand you over to Henrik at Microsoft. And Alona, if you want to move on to the next slide, and Henrik, if you want to pick it up from here.
Thank you, Stephen, and thank you for everybody on the call to spend some time with us here to discuss this topic. My name is Henrik. I work in the Microsoft Elevate division. We are practically a global team that works only with nonprofits and basically working with nonprofits to make sure that we can work on the mission outcomes of the nonprofits that are engaged with us worldwide. We basically have a business model where we are working with nonprofits on grants and donations, but also on skilling, specifically around AI, etc. We are providing discounts and for the majority of the Microsoft solution portfolio. I'm gonna get a little back to some of the offers we have in market. So we are a dedicated team, a small but mighty team, and we are working with roughly around 500,000 nonprofits worldwide. Next slide, please. We've been in market for roughly 8 years, as Stephen was alluding to earlier, previously known as Microsoft Tech for Social Impact. This summer, we changed the name to Microsoft Elevate. During the last 5 years, we have granted or donated more than $4 billion in technology and software to the sector. As mentioned, we are also focusing on enabling nonprofits and employees of nonprofits really to leverage technology to enhance mission outcomes. And during the past 2 years, we have trained more than 20 million people on the technology. So really focusing in on how can nonprofits get the most out of the modern technology as we are discussing here today. Next slide, please. Most of you, I would assume, is already approved as nonprofit within Microsoft. If not, please visit microsoft.com/nonprofit. Click on the Get Started button, and there you can apply for getting the nonprofit status. It takes 10 minutes to fill out the form. It takes roughly 5 business days to get the approval. But that's really the way to start leveraging all of these investments that Microsoft are putting into the industry. Just one caveat here is that if you already have a Microsoft environment, if you're already using Microsoft cloud technologies, please, instead of filling out a new application, click on the Convert your current Microsoft 365 account, and then you will be able to kind of move your current environment into a nonprofit space. Next slide. A few of the offers that we have. I mean, we have offers across all the Microsoft portfolio. We have both free software for you to use, but also heavily discounted if you are in need of more. Both on the modern work side, what we Office 365, all the Office suite as we know it, but also on the data and infrastructure side on Azure, where we are providing grants, $2,000 annually, free consumption of Azure, and on the business application side, where we have a grant on Power Apps, and also additional discounts on all the portfolio within that area. So there is plenty of offers here for you to kind of leverage and start getting started on your digital transformation journey on free or heavily discounted software. Next slide, please. And just to round it off, I mean, as mentioned, we are working with more than 500,000 nonprofits worldwide, and when we're kind of looking into what are the main challenges that we see and how can we address that with technology across the sector, there are certainly some common areas that we really hear as consistent feedback. And as you see, there's probably some of these that would resonate with you as well, but there's also likely some of them that is not a challenge for you. But if we look at kind of one of the key areas of challenges for nonprofits is really around the donor acquisition and retention. We see that retention declines. We see that donation seems to decline as well broadly across the sector. Obviously, there are big differences amongst different nonprofits. We also see that a lot of nonprofit really don't have the tools to drive personalized communication to their donors. And that actually means that they are not in a competitive environment out there for attention. They're not really getting the message through to the audience. And besides that, there's a lot of different challenges around reporting, getting real-time information to make real-time decisions, but also back to things like staffing, getting the right resources onto the team. So obviously, there's a lot of challenges out there for you as a nonprofit, and you are living in a constrained world. But also, there are a lot of technologies and there are a lot of areas where you actually will be able to not solve, but mitigate part of the challenges with technology. And we are going to go a little deeper into that during this session. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to the Masic team, and hopefully you will enjoy the session here today.
Thank you very much, Henrik, for that. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. So at this point, I'm going to hand you over to Umar Siddiqui. So this is the most interesting bit of the presentation where we go into the demonstration. We have a couple of slides just to set the scene. We were going to run a poll at this point, which was what is the biggest challenge your fundraising and engagement team faces? But James, I believe we're having a little bit of issues around the poll on that one.
For some reason, the poll won't launch on Zoom. So we are just getting them sorted on Microsoft Forms. So they'll be in the chat shortly. Angela will send those round.
Okay, cool. Excellent.
Thank you.
So without further ado, let me hand you over to Umar Siddiqui, our VP and the author of the Microsoft NFP Accelerator. So over to you, Umar.
Hello, everyone. I'm Umar Siddiqui, VP Enterprise Services. I have more than 18 years experience delivering Microsoft solutions across industries. And with my recent assignment around UK and Europe, not-for-profit sector for Masic Global. So I'm really delighted today to have all of you, so many people joining today for this webinar. So first of all, thank you very much for taking out time from your day jobs to join us for this webinar. And we are really, really hopeful we're going to definitely add value for you investing time with this webinar on Microsoft and Masic Global. So whether it doesn't matter, first of all, from the audience perspective, either you are a small community organization or a growing national charity, your works create real impact. And it's always a privilege for us to support you in the journey you guys are taking up as part of your organizations. So today's session is all about how we can make the fundraising simpler, smarter, and more sustainable using Microsoft Cloud for nonprofit. And at the same time, giving the actual day workers their time back so that they can focus more on how you can raise more funds, how you can engage more with donors, and how can you really support the causes that your charities are there in the industry, so that all the underprivileged and the needy sectors of the world should get the benefit of all of this effort. So one thing that is really an ask from the industry, from the perspective, it is we need modern tools, but they must be affordable. So as you have seen from Henrik's last slide or second last slide, Microsoft is heavily investing on that, and really substantial discounting are available from the Microsoft side around licenses, cloud spaces, or whatever the charity sector organization needs are. So definitely that offer is worth a look, and we will be there as well to support any questions. That is how to get those offers right into the implementation work. So now, before I talk about the demo and the accelerator, let's see some of the topics or some of the areas where NFPs struggle. So normally, we think, and again, this can be a different experience based on individual needs, but on totality, what is our study of the sector is normally there are either the organizations are using very old systems, or there have been some of the systems like from the grant management, volunteer management, or fundraising. There is a disparity between systems. So we have got people data that is there in silos. That they're either sometimes with case of Excel spreadsheets, or from the perspective of old systems, the usability is not that good. The integration, likes of HMRC or with any other third-party giving platforms, is a challenge. And last but not the least, the manual processing always burdens staff. So we try to cater all of these with our demo and the product showcase we are doing today. But definitely, we always welcome any feedback from the industry that can definitely help us improve the product so that we can serve the sector back. Okay, so yeah, next slide. So this is what we have done from the fundraising and perspective. So major part is Microsoft launches Cloud for Nonprofit that has multiple solution apps. That has apps like fundraising and engagement. There was volunteer management, there's grant management, and there are other apps as well. As per the new roadmap, Microsoft has decided to retire Microsoft fundraising app by December 2026. And the new roadmap is there are few big partners in the world that will be developing the fundraising app using the same common data model that was used by the Microsoft team to launch this app initially. So we will be extending and building on the same foundations and still be in the same Microsoft ecosystem, providing those services to the customers. So we have designed that. And one more element there we are really focusing is the cost part. So what we do is our solution, first of all, we are right now not charging any license to this solution. So first thing, and secondly, this solution only requires a Power Platform license to work. So it means you're going to charge for 2.5 pounds per user per month to 5 pounds per user per month based on your licensing needs to get to run this solution in your cloud tenants. So this is how we have designed. So it's Microsoft investment from the cloud side and the Mazik's investment in building this accelerator, which is right now free without any licensing fees that we are deploying. Okay. So, and this is again, foundations are still Microsoft Cloud technologies. We will be using Azure, we will be using Dataverse, and we will be leveraging the cloud for nonprofit. But in case there is any charity that has a very niche which requires any solution, but that is like the standard Microsoft solutions of sales, customer service, or marketing or customer insights, then our solution is totally compatible, and we can always connect, integrate, and coexist with any existing or a Microsoft app that is available to the charities. We try to cover the gift rate path. We try to cover the donation management. We try to cover the events and campaigns. And we also have a digital front door area where we show you a very out of the box Power Pages based portal where you can have your donors quickly having a digital front door to start engaging with you, to send donations, to see their recurring pledges, and so on and so forth. And last but not the least, we also have gone to showcase some of our AI automation, some agentic plays that we have added to the solution. And this is just what we think from the industry perspective can benefit on NFPs, but definitely as we try to, we are hopeful to have some one-to-one conversations post this session. We can definitely want to improve these AI agentic plays to benefit more from the use case and the user requirements perspective. Yeah, so now we're going to go into the demo world and we will showcase how this solution works. So, Alona, can we? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is a donor portal that we have created. The best part, it doesn't need any integration. So people who don't know, Microsoft Power Pages is basically a way to build websites for any external users that can engage with a Power Platform implementation like fundraising solution we are doing. So what it does is allows you or any charity to create a web portal that can be always be accessed by the donors who you invite to take donations or see their data or anything. So and this portal doesn't need any custom implementation. This portal doesn't need any extra effort to build, to integrate with your core fundraising solution. So this is already connected with your fundraising solution. So any donor you're going to add on your fundraising solution will be available here if that donor is invited and registered. And similarly, if a donor do some actions here, it will all directly get logged into the fundraising solution. So what we did currently, this donor portal allows you to see a dashboard, to see your donations. Right, you can see any donations that you have done in past through the portal. So a list of all donations will be available, and that you can see, and you can see a recurring payments site where you can see all any other payments that you are doing on recurring basis. You can see the recurring payments through this thing. So going back to the dashboards. Yeah. So sorry for that. There's a substatic glitch in the system. So you'll see all the donations up here, which you can see how you have done it, what was the way of doing that. And again, we can always add or subtract fields based on the need of that. Now we'll quickly show you how you can do a donation through the portal by clicking the donate now button. As you go, you have to search for a campaign. From where you can, which one campaign you want to select. You can select any one of the campaigns. Then you can select any amount that you do. If you are already gifted declaration, your gifted / toggle is available. Okay. And then you click on donation, confirming that. It will take a bit of time to process. Then you have to enter your card details. We are not storing any card detail. It's the Stripe integration that we have done. So, and you will have to, if you have any other payment gateway, we can definitely integrate that with the portal as well. So you can quickly set up your own, do a donation, enter your card details. For you have to enter postcode and then just click pay now. It will process that and provide you a confirmation message. And then you have to submit that. Once you submit it, it will get logged in the system as a donation from that donor. So this is the digital front door that we have created. We can always enhance all of these things. Yes, this is a donor facing account, and it's a donor has their own dashboard. They can see their total giving, monthly giving, or any other KPI that we want to add to that dashboard. So this is a registered one. So again, this is not like public, not like anybody can go. So you have to invite a donor, and then we will gonna vet that donor. We're gonna evaluate donors through the Microsoft Intra ID, and we will once a donor is validated, then it can access that donor platform. And you can always control the access of that donor to the donor platform through the admin set. So now this is your backend for model-driven app or a backend fundraising solution based on Microsoft Power Platform. So the way we are trying to address is first to have a donor 360 where you can see how we are creating a donor record. Again, this is a very detailed record. You might not need that detail, so you can always you can always use this form as per your needs. It's not mandatory to put every field that you showcase. The way it works is it gives you demographic details around what is how you can record that donor. So all the demographic information you can record. In the center, it's more like a dashboard that again showing that how much recurring gift, when the next recurring gift is due, which is what was the last gift amount, when that gift was donated, and all going down, you will see all the KPIs that are there. We can always work on with you to see if there is something additional we need, or we might need to hide something out. We can always do that. So this is a donation donor 360 account. Second, we can see the donation history. So all the past donations for that donor, as that was available on the portal, that is also available in the fundraising app. You can see all the different donations that has been done by that donor in the donation information. Lastly, you can see a volunteer engagement. If that donor is also being engaged as a volunteer, then you can always, again, this is something you might need or might not. Again, if you want to track volunteer engagement and also want to use a volunteer management and volunteer recruitment from Cloud for Nonprofit, definitely it's going to help you. So this is a donor 360 record that we have created, and we can always add more fields or add more business rules. If there is like background checks, we can always integrate with background checks if you want to recruit volunteers through this process. So this is a donor 360. Now we'll see if that a donor is there, how we can set up a campaign in the system, and you can always create a campaign that can have multiple appeals, that can have multiple causes to it. So you create a campaign, the standard campaign information, you can set up a campaign code, and then you can all the different type of campaigns that you can do. Yes, Microsoft it can integrate with any platform. We are just giving is another one. So any platform that supports Microsoft integration practices and methodologies, we can always integrate. And if not, Magic has been delivering in custom integration solutions as well. So we don't want to overcomplicate. If there is a simpler way of doing integration, we can always integrate with any third-party system like Just Giving or any other platform. So we're going to set up campaigns, and these campaigns have standard start date and date. You can have some campaign images. You can set that up, and then going now, you can have a campaign hierarchy, reporting hierarchy. So what does that reporting hierarchy do? It basically allows you to set up how many appeals you want to do that, how many packages you want to do that, and you can have a simple campaign with a simple appeal. You can always do. So again, the flexibility and the functionality is there. You want to do it. Now we're going to pick up one of the very important use case that takes a lot of time and effort of the fundraiser guys and the people at NFP is to run a campaign, send emails, and then respond back to them. So what we do is, if you see here, we have set up associated a marketing list with that same campaign, Save the Truth. And this campaign list allows you to add as many users, as many participants to this list as you want. Now, you don't want to use the normal way of doing this. You set up an appeal, then you set up all the text, then you create an email, and then you send that email or you schedule that email to all the participants using either a marketing system or you're doing it manually. And then once the response are back, you have to do it, you have to correspond them manually. That's a very time-taking thing. So what we have done, we said you have to create an appeal. You just set up that appeal under this campaign, and automatically what will does, we are using Copilot in background. It will create an email that tells everything about that campaign and appeal from the information you have provided and the instructions we have given to Copilot, and send the email automatically to all the participants in the marketing list. And this is how that email gonna look like. So if you see, you will receive an email like this from that is sent out automatically from the platform. So and it is not someone typing it. There's a temp. Normally you have to design templates. So all of that is handled by the Copilot through our instructions and everything. And it's created that. It has also entered the reference of the portal going down, that how you can participate. Either you can do it through donation, or if somebody wants to respond. So we have added some triggers to it. Like if I want to make a donation, I want to make a pledge, provide more details. So if somebody respond back, I want to make a donation. So automatically what it will do is it will create a campaign commitment or a pledge to the campaign. So if you go back to the campaign, there's a donor commitment space and you'll see all the pledges. So these are all the commitments that are automatically created against that email. Nobody is manually seeing that inbox. There's no one who is doing recording in the fundraising solution. You're not hopping through multiple email boxes, multiple Excel sheets. It's all and through the power of Copilot that we have configured in background. So this is what we call a correspondence or a smart appeal agent that is working in there. It's constantly checking the inbox, and it's already automatically creating those records. You can create commitments, you can create tasks, you can create anything. Okay. So this is how you will be using campaign. You can always do it manually, but you can do it through the portal. Now we're going to see an event quickly, how an event can be created. So normally campaigns, so if you have to, you either use some web events or in-person events, you can set up events as part of campaign and you can associate that with that campaign. So I'll go and see how a particular event going to look like. So if you go there, this is an event, again, some basic information around the start date and its name and everything. You can associate that with the campaign. You can set up which venue. Okay. to the venue piece, you can set up the venue, you can set up even components. So some of the components like uh, what type of any disclaimer you want to put in, sponsorship. So if there are multiple tiers of sponsorship, what are the quantities of those sponsorships? Even tickets, you can set up different type of tickets. Any merchandise you want to sell as part of that event, you can do that. And automatically, whatever gonna happen here, you're doing that will get recorded as part of the event details, how the event performed. So donations, you can record donations against that event, how you can set up some commitments, you can set up some registration packages. So again, a whole 9 yard of event, we can always do a detailed demo if somebody is interested around how we can set it up. But this gives you a lot of information you can record. And the most important part is this event is connected to campaign and it records who is donating, how much donating, which channel is used for donation, how much of packages were sold. There are some graphs we have added. So you can always, it's not only that you're recording something, dumping things in, there are always tools available to analyze. There are tools available for someone to put some thought process behind it and really want to drill down what went wrong and what works great for any campaign or event. So this is how it's going to look like. Now we're going to see a particular transaction, that how a particular transaction going to look like if done manually. If you put it through the portal, it will, or you will see that transaction available in the system, right, like this. It automatically is available. And if you can always do it manually as well, or if you have some integration, we can integrate that with any other platform. Okay, so this is a transaction that will be called. So you see here, it allows you to associate that with a campaign. If it is done as part of an event, you can associate an event as well. And then if you go down, there is a gift aid section. Now that is very important. So what we saw at time of donor registration, we receive gift aid declaration and we mark our user as gift aid compliant. So whenever a donation comes in, system automatically calculates how much the claim amount going to look like, and also whether this amount has been submitted as part of a gift aid claim to HMRC or not. So we record all of that so that you don't miss anything, and we can always have a BI layer that can work that things around and always suggest improvement based on the data. So our way is you record it once and use it as much as you can rather than duplicating the donors, duplicating the transactions, duplicating the associations. So this is how an event transaction going to look like. Lastly, before we go towards some of the cool agentic AI pieces that we have compiled for you, is how you're going to set up a gift aid claim. So here you go. If you go to the gift aid piece, and you will see what the system allows you to do is see how many transactions you can submit that are available in the system to be submitted for gift aid claims, and then you can bundle them up either in one claim or you can do that as part of multiple claims. Okay, so if I come up here, we can start a claim start date. I can set that a date. I can set it for a day, a month, week, whatever works, and then just save that. System automatically gonna go and search for any transactions that are available for gift aid claim, and still gift aid is not being claimed for that. Okay, so you have to you can change the date, maybe the date range. Yeah, so you can always see oh, sorry. So we were not able to, we forget one step. That's why system doesn't end up picking up that. So once you have a transaction, you have to mark that as completed so that it can pick that up as an eligible transaction for gift aid claims. So we always go for gift claims, and then we'll mark that range that where we want all the transactions to be picked up. So just set up that range, save this thing, and then click get transaction button. So system will fetch the transactions. Yeah, now you'll see the transaction. It says is here. I'll review that, how many transactions that it's one, and somebody has to approve. Yeah, this is ready for gift aid claim. And then once we save that, we can submit that to HMRC on the top. So as you submit that, then what we have done, we have integrated with the test system of HMRC right now. Once we go into production for any or charity organization, we have to use your credentials. If you see the status now, it's submission in progress. Once you receive a confirmation from them, a batch ID is updated in the system, and that's how the gift aid processing works. Okay, so this is how we're gonna submit. Okay, yeah. So this is how we're gonna submit gift aid claims to our HMRC thing. Now we'll go back to the agentic part of it. Yeah. What are the other agentic options that are available? So right now, there are always a key concern around how much of my fundraising campaign is performing. What is my fundraise? How my campaign is performing. So I want to analyze how much. So that requires you have to go through each campaign. You have to go through each campaign fundraising event. You have to analyze one by one. You have to pull data out in Excel. Then you want to see what are the trends that are there. What are the channels that works for us? What are the least performing channels? And there can be so many details, the season when the campaign was run, the cost that was part of it, or the appeal that was created. So we'll try to show you how a particular campaign we want to analyze that campaign and we want to run a prompt. So just simply type in the Copilot that is available out of the box as part of Power Platform environment. Yeah, and it will go and try to find out the details based on the data that has been collected. So the response is again as good as the data that has been recorded in the system, as well as the training that has been provided to the Copilot, how your instructions are refined. We can always have a detailed session if somebody is interested. So if you see here, the campaign performance, you can always set up your template, how you want to review data. So you can see the total revenues, against the top performing campaigns, the gift receive, average gift range, ROI, what type of it, and then the lowest performing one as well. Going down, you'll see key insights. So you can see the top campaign earned 531x more revenue than the lowest. Community care food relief program secured major gift of 35. So it's giving you those insights, a part of it, and then a recommendation as well. So because the winter homeless support needs urgent review, consider enhanced promotions, channel diversifications, or relaunch with a stronger case for support. So again, this is not something that a magic is happening. This is more around how you set up that agent in background, how much training is provided, how the instructions are refined, and what type of data that is recorded in what is the quality of data that was recorded in the fundraising solution. Similarly, we're going to see another way, another area where we want to focus is the campaign overall fundraising performance of the fiscal year. So we're going to go run this prompt again. And this is what we think is, again, we have mapped that data to the tables that contribute towards these things. So if you see the matrices, so some of these matrices are their raise, total give, total donors, and then by area. So how much donations were there, directly donations, how much campaigns, how the campaigns contributed to it, how much events contributed to it, what are your top channels, online, in person, most effective again. So you can always run those fundraising performance and analytics of it. So this is another key way, an insight around how you can quickly pull data. And again, these Copilot agents is not only available in the fundraising solution, we can always publish them to the Teams channel as well. And you can in the Teams, so if you are using MS Teams and somebody who's responsible for analytics and not into day-to-day fundraising, don't need to log into CRM to access the Copilot. They can always have this thing available as part of their Teams app, and they can run these prompts from there, and they can view and analyze data. And again, copy, paste, export data, whatever they want to do. Then a very important area is around gift aid. So we want to see how much, what is the gift aid looks like, how much are claimed, how much is available. Can Copilot quickly highlight me any gift aid area, any gift aid insights to me? So I can run a query. Do we have how many donors? So it's basically showcasing, okay, so these are some of the missing declarations that requires immediate action. So some of them, like James Whitmore, he has donated a substantial amount and there is no gifted declaration. Similarly, Lucy Penton is not that. Then there are people who gifted are expiring in next 30 days. So we need to get those the latest one, renew those gift aid declarations. So system is already highlighting. It's so many of these things are only come into radar when things get missed. Okay, so we try to do what we're trying to do is to pick those peculiar or these important insights that are already available inside your system, but definitely either there is challenge on the workforce that is assigned to task, or there are so many tasks that need attention at the same time. So we try to try to build that agentic automations that can quickly pull up that information beforehand, and then people can take actions rather than going into more reactive mode. We try to come up with a way to give them a preemptive way of doing things. So again, these are the actions that can assign to gift aid, and you can always see some recommended actions and all those things around it. Last but not the least, there are always people leaving organizations and coming in organizations. So they want to highlight and they want to know about donors, but there are lots and lots of donors. So if I go one by one each form, that will be too much of a thing. So we say you can always summarize a donor profile quickly, and you can always run that with a prompt rather than moving form to form and going to look after. So if there is a list of top 5, 10 donors shared with your with a new employee, you can always go and do a summarized way of doing the donor profile. So if you see here, so this is the Oscar Birch, our same donor. So quickly it gives some demographic information, the household and relationships, the lifetime giving of that, most recent donations going down. So you see the most recent donations, then giving behavior and channels. What are the preferred channels for that? What are the primary campaign that guy contributed? What are the patterns? So is it consistent? Is it not? So again, so many. So this is again our ways of showcasing things. If you want to refine, if you want to concise it, you don't want that lengthy detail, we can always concise that. If you want to highlight some of the other insights that we haven't covered available in your data, we can do that. So always so many ways. And again, this is available in Teams or there and everywhere. So you can always do that. So there is a lot of other things that are there, and we can showcase one. But I'm really short on time, and I want to respect everyone's time as to come up here and contribute. So this was overall what a high level what we want to showcase in this short amount of time. So Steve, over to you. Steve, you there?
Yes, I am. I'm just turning my camera back on.
Okay.
So can
Okay.
you hear me all right? Yeah, cool. All right, then that was very good. I think you showed some good solutions there. We've seen we've seen the initial portal. We've seen how that integrates into the key thing. We mentioned it, but everything there is a full CRM functionality that you would get based on if you were to use, say, Dynamics CRM software. But it's all the unique thing is, and we've built this specifically for small to medium charities that want to have the scalability to grow, also want to have that enterprise functionality, but at a price point that small to medium charities can afford with a fully integrated solution. So this is built on Power Platform. So the licensing model is significantly different. The implementation costs are a lot less, and that was one of the questions in the chat which I've answered. So we've seen that. So what I just wanted to kind of finish and conclude now. I'm just conscious of time, and then we can get to the Q&A. So hopefully what you've seen today is that isn't just a system. It's about giving you a much clearer view of your supporters, improving the engagement, and also ultimately helping you raise more funds with a lot less manual effort, and importantly, kind of doing that with the cost and the complexity, or should I say, without the cost and the complexity of a traditional CRM implementation. So just moving on to the next slide, and then we'll come on to the Q&A. So in terms of next steps, obviously we've just given you a flavour today. We absolutely do appreciate you coming and spending time with us today. So what we have done, I know we had a few issues with the poll, so I'm not sure the polls are working again or whether we're going to provide that as a Microsoft form, but we do have another polling question, which is a form. So that was good. So that question is, what would be the most valuable next step for your organization today? So look, we want to serve, we want to help. charities to grow and execute on their mission. So, what another demo with maybe a wider part of the organization, a discovery workshop, more information about Microsoft and nonprofits, access to the slides, or right now, no, but we'd like to stay in touch. So if you'd like to take your time, also we have a feedback form. So we'd love to get your feedback because that's how we improve. So we'll leave that up there. If you could scan that with your phone and then provide us your feedback. And for those who want to maybe like what they've heard today and would like to have an initial conversation, with myself about, what you're trying to achieve, I've put in the chat there a link to a calendar where you can schedule a 30-minute appointment. So if you're keen and you want to move quite quickly on this, there's a link there you can use, and from tomorrow onwards, we can go from there. So that's fantastic. And really, just coming back to the Q&A. So James, I know there's a few questions. I have answered one around the costs.
Yes, I've
but there
seen
are a
that
few
one.
other there. Do you want to run through those quickly? We've got
We can
10
run
minutes
through
left.
those. Thank you, everyone. Please do just upvote the questions if they resonate with you, just so we can get to the most relevant ones first. And yes, Stephen, just to clarify, we have made a Microsoft Forms poll. So Ange, who's down as Charities Digital, has posted that in the chat. So yes, just to follow on from what Stephen was saying earlier. Question here. So can the donor journey be amended so that the donor has to manually choose between one-off and recurring? Our current system has 2 tabs like yours, but 99% of donors miss it and think they can only give a one-off donation.
Uma, would you
So
like to answer that?
yeah. So it's totally up to how they want to do that. So they can set up one-off donation, they want to do recurring. So all of that can be done. We can work out if there is a specific workflow you want to do, or there is more like giving multiple options to choose from. All of that is possible, I believe, if that's the case.
Brilliant. Thank you. Does this integrate with any fundraising platforms such as Just Giving?
Yeah,
And
that's
then
funny in that.
there was a similar one which said enthuse, much loved, etc.
Yeah, definitely. So if any API-based system where you have to consume integrate through APIs, we can always integrate with them.
Brilliant. Thank you. This one, similar kind of question. Do you have any APIs to support mass donor updates / uploads?
Yeah. So if you need APIs, I believe you need to data integration. That's why you need APIs. So we can look, there are multiple ways to integrate data from other system into our fundraising. Or and if there's a case of upload, so we can do the traditional file-based uploads or any other ways of doing uploads. So we are we are as flexible as Microsoft, and Microsoft when it comes to integrations, uploads, data handling. So there is lots of ways that handles around integrating from the data perspective or migration and upload perspective.
Brilliant. Thank you. We had one in the chat that I believe they can't put in the Q&A box. So what about data protection? If all this personal data is in AI, how do we know it is safe?
Yeah. So first of all, this Copilot that we are talking about is not the free Copilot that is available for everyone on chat.microsoft.com. It's the Copilot that exists on your tenant. Since the data exists in your tenant, your old fundraising data, this Copilot is also something that is grounded on your tenant. So the interaction between the Copilot and your employee or the user of the system, based on the data of the system, always guardrailed, uh, secured by Microsoft security. It's not us. It's Microsoft that gives you that confidence that your data is on your tenant, whether you're interacting and engaging with a Copilot agent or a Copilot Studio based agent. It's always grounded and secured in your data. And we can always have Microsoft in the room to explain if there is a need around what security measures and what are the security certifications that has been applied by Microsoft.
Great, thank you. Whilst we're on that, just to fully clarify, because we had a similar question, is there an issue with using the free version as it's not a closed environment? I think you have just pretty much answered that. Will this impact use in the system?
Yeah, so definitely, first of all, the free version is there. You have to build more instructions. When it comes to because there are three steps to a Copilot. So one is a Copilot chat that you can do always chat. Then is a Copilot Studio, and then there's an extensibility or an AI Studio. So the Copilot chat is there, but if you want to refine more instruction based, since especially the use case where we were automatically creating a campaign email for the appeal, then sending it out, then creating those records back in the system. That this allows you to use the Copilot one that use your credits, but it's very cheap from the perspective. I was also worried initially, but when we went through some of the test cases we did around some of the packs that we can credits we can consume, it's not that costly as people think. We can always have one-to-one conversation as per your data volume metrics to discuss any particular Copilot needs.
Great. Thank you. This one, I'm sure it varies depending on the need, but what is the cost going forward once we are set up? Is it limited to a specific number of accounts? Can we link it to a donation page on our website, which I think we've already clarified? Can we add other notes on their profiles, e.g., any comms we have had with them, etc.?
Yeah. So as I said, we try to come up with a very basic one. So it's not that we have to do and go and start development for every page on the donor portal. So if you have a com section on your fundraising solution for donors, we have to expose them on the Power Pages. But if there is some business rules you want to do, some data segregation you want to do, so in that case we have to work a bit on that. But it's not a bespoke. It is nothing as compared to a bespoke development. We have to build every module from scratch. You already have a database and a data recorded in the fundraising solution. You have a Power Pages that is a digital front door or donor facing solution. You have to expose right data in the right direction, and it's all figured out for you.
Great. Thank you. Um, if there are any more questions, please do pop those in the chat, in the Q&A box, sorry, but we seem to have answered all of those for now. Please do respond to that final poll, just to let us know your thoughts. Oh, here we go. Lisa,
Got another one.
is the idea that this would replace our current CRM systems, or does this work alongside?
For you, as per your needs, we can always work. We have no issues in coexisting with your tax investments that you have done. So if you're using any other system for a particular niche and you want us to solve a problem for you, we can always go and live in the same tech space. We can integrate, we can share the load, and since it's Microsoft, it's very easier from the user adoption perspective. If anybody is using Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, or any other Microsoft technology, we are as simple to adopt as any other Microsoft technology. So totally up to how what is the organization's roadmap or organization vision around the technology. We don't have any particular dependencies that we can't do this or we don't have to do this.
Brilliant. Um, final call. I know that one came in pretty quickly. Great. Well, thanks
Okay.
everyone. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. Thank you all for the presentation. It's been a really, really great session. So thank you all so much for attending. We've got a lot more events coming up, including our Digital Fundraising Summit on Thursday, the 12th of May, which is an online event, and Ange will post a link to that in the chat. Finally, if you could share your feedback with us, that would be fantastic. It's really important to help us to ensure that we continue to develop these webinars for the charity sector. The resources and everything will be sent to you within the coming week. And so please do get in touch with any further questions. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.